Hey everyone, this is Ryan Cassata, and we are back with the second episode ever of T4T. And I'm here with Lauren today, who is my good friend and also plays bass in my band.
Oh, hey, what's up? My name's Lauren. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a queer woman, and I play in Ryan's band, so, I love this guy. So, here we are, finally. We're in a podcast together.
Welcome to T4T, 420 ways to make it through the day. So we're having these conversations just like we would with our friends on the phone, all while sampling an awesome array of Emerald Sun products, who is our sponsor for this podcast. Big shout out to Emerald Sun! If this is your first time tuning in, you're probably wondering where the title of the podcast comes from, T for T. So T, the first T in T for T, is T-E-A, like tea, like that you drink. This term dates back to the 1940s when people really obviously needed a discreet way to talk about our sacred plant medicine. I learned this term from beatnik literature when I was in 9th grade, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then the second T for T4T is, it stands for trans, which is the best tea ever. And people have been asking me, hey, are you only going to have trans people on your podcast? And no, I'm not. I'm going to have everyone. I'm trans, so the title is, it's good enough. T4T. The T is for me and for my friends, so it all makes sense to me.
Okay. Wait, so Emerald Sun, so what's the deal? Where are these guys from? This looks awesome.
They are super awesome. Emerald Sun is located in Mendocino County. They are a sun-grown cannabis farm and hashery.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so they specialize in hash, which is these amazing products here. Also, their vape pen is super awesome. So we'll get into all of that. One of their most popular products is the popcorn edibles, which I'm super into it. So
I'm really excited for the caramel corn.
Right?
This looks delicious.
So we're gonna have that one for dessert, but let's try one of these now, and then we'll see when it hits during the podcast.
Sure, okay, well,
all right.
Let's find out.
Each one is about 2 milligrams.
Okay.
So that's good to know.
One kernel is 2 milligrams.
I know, and it's hard not to eat a whole
whole
bunch.
Bag, yeah.
Because popcorn is popcorn.
How do you not? You zone out and all of a sudden poop.
All right, Lauren, why don't you take one of those first?
Sure, okay. First things first, can I get through the security opening?
It's childproofed. It's gotta be. You never know if your kids or your dogs are gonna
get in there.
Try to get into it.
Man. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we already have a dog trying to.
Oh, coming in. I like how it's mostly the middle, and it's not just all the frilly parts.
Yeah, right? It's good.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
You can have 2 if you want, but you might get...
I want to, but I think I'll get really ripped.
Yeah, you will, because I know you're lightweight.
I just need little bits to get through the day. Oh.
I love the cheddar. I want to eat 500 of these. If you could make one food, candy, snack item, an edible, what would you decide?
Oh my gosh. Fruit by the foot.
Fruit by the foot?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're unwinding it, would each piece be a milligram, or how would it work?
You see, I don't know.
The whole thing?
Listen, I would want to eat the whole thing.
I know.
So I'm a huge snacker. So I would like to be able to mow on an entire bag of this, or have a whole spiral of your fruit by the foot.
Yeah.
Because the tie-dye is my favorite.
Okay.
There's a red and blue one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. So
fruit by the foot. That's so nostalgic.
If I could mow on one of those, right?
What about Gushers?
I was just gonna bring that up too.
Gushers would be
my
good.
runner-up.
Or Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, so good. You know what I actually started doing was taking fruit Gushers and rolling them in tahini.
Really?
It's so good.
I need to try this.
I'm from Flint, Michigan.
Okay, so in Michigan, did they have tahini, or did you find out about it when you came to Los Angeles?
Oh, way later. I have no idea. I doubt that Flint in the 90s, early 2000s they had other things to worry about.
Yeah.
Other things to focus on besides chili lime salt.
I don't think that I even had a jalapeno on Long Island ever. I don't think I had that until I came to Los Angeles. Or San Francisco first, but California.
Yeah. I remember having hot lunch at school, and they would have nachos, and then they would have like those like weird like pickled like wheel of jalapenos. So like I don't know.
But they were
how
like
old they
manufactured as fuck. They're kind of like the green is off, right?
Yeah, the green's off.
The green is not right. It's not the right color green.
It's not easy being green.
Oh, God. Today we are going to try the apple fritter.
Oh.
So it's sun grown, and it is from Mendocino County, and it's a hybrid flower, and I'm stoked to
Can I smell
get into it. Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
And I love also just like we're musicians. We both play a bunch of instruments, and I like that their product is called Jam.
I love that too.
And it says "Welcome to the Jamily."
What?
So I think the branding is perfect for us. And on the front it says "Get Loud."
Get loud.
Which we're always like, let's turn it up. Turn up the amps.
11,
Oh, I see.
11,
And most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
There was a time I was in San Francisco, and my sister had a friend with a converted ambulance that he called the Jambulance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I jumped off the top of it.
Oh, jeez.
It's really high
Did you have to get a real ambulance?
Thank goodness no, but I did land a little weird, but luckily I just had to walk it off. But that's like a good, like, that's a good 10, 12 feet off. That was high up there. Yeah.
That's some stuntman shit.
It's like sour, but like a little sweet.
Yeah, it's got like that green apple vibe really going, right?
Apple fritters. You see, we're really trying to get the Midwestern thing like going home, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like the next one to please be maybe a casserole.
We're both gonna roll the best joint that we can.
Oh, it's on.
What we're gonna also do is put their ice, water, ice, I-C-E,
ice baby
water, ice baby water hash in the joint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, buckle up. Jam.
It's literally
Stop.
so cute.
Stop it. I love
I'm obsessed.
this.
And then it says "Welcome to the Jamily." Like,
Aw,
could it get any cuter?
I'm so honored to be a part of this Jamily.
Right, me too.
This is super cool.
Whatever one looks the best is the one we're gonna smoke. Wow, you did that so fast.
Oh yeah, my friend. Yeah, recognize.
I know you are better at this than me.
I just like little things. I like it tiny.
When did you start playing bass? Because I know you started with guitar.
You know, you want to hear something really funny about that?
Yeah.
Is I bought a bass off Craigslist for $50.
What?
And I just like had it. I had it around for at least 2 years, just untouched, just like
Oh,
had
really?
it. And then I get a phone call from Kyle, actually,
Oh.
after we played a show together with Carly Luss, because we needed a drummer.
Oh.
That's how we found Kyle, was on Instagram.
Oh, through Instagram is how this all got connected.
That's right. And so we played this gig together. We had a super great time.
Oh, and Kyle plays drums in
Yeah.
our band.
Yes, Kyle plays drums currently in our band. He just called and he just said, "Lauren, you play bass, right?" And I said, "Sure, what do you need?" I just looked at it. I remember just like looking at that bass, that rickety old thing. I'm like, yeah.
Wait, so is this the bass you use or no?
No, I just got rid of it. I wish I didn't, but I needed to make room in my apartment. I actually left it on the side of the dumpster and I came back and it was gone. So it has a new house somewhere.
So someone's enjoying that bass.
Yeah. But that's how it started. And I played in this band. They're like, okay, well, we need you to learn these 12 songs by this weekend because we have 2 shows in Santa Barbara. And that was pretty much it. And then after that, I think I played in another like 4 bands playing bass. And here we are.
Whoa.
Yeah. Success is showing up, my friend.
Yeah, and so obviously I know how we became bandmates, but do you want to tell?
Let's see. I think we first met at that juvenile facility, right?
We were not locked up.
We were not locked up. Only for the day.
The day,
for
yeah.
us to
we were
perform.
locked up for the day.
We were. Yeah, so we could perform for these kids that were like, in the system or transitioning out, I think was their deal. Man, interesting
Right before
place.
Christmas.
Right before Christmas, where we had to get rid of all twist ties that were like...
Anything that could be used as string, anything that was sharp.
Yeah, anything that could be a
even the
potential
CDs
threat.
we couldn't bring in.
Yeah, so many things. I was playing bass with Hello Noon.
Yeah, so they said, hey, it would just make it easier if Lauren also played with us. And And I was like, all right, let's
Convenience.
do it.
I got into the band because of convenience, everybody. You heard it here first. Here we are.
Touring was definitely the most fun ever of anything.
It was one of the best few weeks of my life.
Yeah, me too. Okay, what's your favorite memory from the tour?
I loved how me and Kyle were in charge of putting all the merch on the roof of the van every single night.
Wait, can we explain this van to everyone? This was like a soccer mom minivan.
It was a minivan.
It was white. It was dirty.
It was dirty as heck, and
We drove
packed
through
to
many
the
different
brim.
weather. We couldn't even fit a case of waters. We were like, can we fit 4 more bottles of
Like, we
water in
can't.
here?
No, it was.
We can't. There was stuff every which way you looked, and we just knew where stuff was somehow.
Exactly.
We had stuff in the floor of the van.
Yup.
Equipment, merch, and we were like, please, people, buy merch.
Please buy the merch so we don't have to carry it around so much.
Because we need a little space. Half the merch was on the roof.
More than half.
Our pillows, blankets, sleeping
Yup.
bags, all this stuff.
We had to pack it all up, make sure it doesn't fly off
How
when we're on the
tall
freeway.
was this thing?
It was like this thick on top. Like, you can't even see it.
Which
it's like
one should we
off
do?
of the screen. It's like this much. So let's see here. Which one do you guys think?
Cheers.
Cheers. A little sword fight. Let's do this one.
All right.
Yeah, I think that one's yours.
So we drove all the way to Texas for South by. We also went to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we played a bunch of shows in different places
Utah.
Salt Lake City,
That was
Denver
fun.
was so fun.
Mhm, I
That
love
very
Hot
punk
Springs.
venue.
Oh my gosh.
DIY. Seventh Circle. I love that venue.
Circle. That place has the craziest bathroom I've ever seen.
What was your favorite memory from the tour?
I remember it being super, super, super cold. And we were so wiped. We were looking for a hotel. And I think we stopped at 3 different places. And we were just so ready to go to bed. And in order for us to stop anywhere every single night, we had to unload all the drums, all the equipment, all the merch.
And then fit it in the hotel
And then
rooms?
fit it into the hotel room and then push it all back out the next day. I think as ridiculously tedious as that was, I loved it. There was something about getting it done and getting it done really well.
Yeah. We would literally load into the shows. We're loading out the van into the venue. Then we're loading back from the show into the van. And then we're getting to our hotel room and we're loading, nice. And we're loading now into the hotel room and then the next morning out. So it was 4 load-ins a day, which will make you buff.
Yeah. Oh man, I was so ripped at
Me
the end
too.
of that.
People are like, yo, when did you start going to the gym?
And I'm like, bam, bam.
I was like, I lift amps.
We lift gear. You know what? We should just open a gym of just music gear. Okay, you got to put it into this truck and take it back out. Now do that 6 times.
There'll be all different amps. Can you
Yeah.
lift this half stack?
You lift this half stack
Lift
onto
this Marshall.
this 6-foot stage. Just lift it on top and then take it back down.
How many guitar cases can you carry at once?
Yeah.
Wait, so what was your favorite memory?
Okay.
Loading the van?
Loading the van. That was, honestly, I would say
Lord.
loading the van and unloading the van just because it was so ridiculous.
It was like a ritual.
No.
Ryan,
Watch
do
your
you-
popcorn.
Ryan, do you think that the van is closed right now? No. Why not?
Cause look, you could see in through this crack.
Is it?
It's not lining up.
We didn't have to give it a little love tap this time, though.
Oh no, that was like that.
Oh, was it? Kyle?
I looked at that when we left. It was just like that.
How did it not rain into it?
Checks out.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a
There's no seal anymore. Look at the seal, it's not touching.
You know, I moved to New York from Michigan to go to a theater school. There's this school called the Neighborhood Playhouse, and they accepted 30 students a year.
Whoa. So that's amazing you got in.
You know what? I
And
went to the right place. I just
Was
went
there
to the
musical
right
theater
place.
too?
Yeah, I had a musical theater class where they kind of teach you how to do that, the technique to be able to sing live and not mic'd.
Oh.
That was actually my first singing lesson ever.
Oh wow.
Well, at least good.
So
yeah.
what got you interested in theater?
It was when my parents got divorced and I moved from the middle of the woods to the suburbs. And so it was around the time that Mean Girls came out. And I really didn't like that movie. I thought it was dumb because I didn't think there was anybody who actually acted like that in real life. I thought it was all bad acting.
Oh.
And so I go to a school where there's like those stereotypical jocks, where there are those like super. It was also a really wealthy part of Flint called Grand Blanc, which is also kind of weird that it's called Big White. You know, in the middle of Flint, Michigan, and that's where all like the ritzy people lived. This tea is supreme. Like
it really is.
Yeah, like it's a hybrid sort of loose leaf, if you will. And from my understanding, it's thank you. Yeah, I'm actually great. It's light, it's easy to talk to people.
We didn't even cough at all.
I may have done it once.
Wait, did you? I didn't even
maybe
notice.
once. It's smooth and it's light and it's really uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I feel very happy to be here talking with you right now.
Yeah, it is uplifting. It's social. It's not making us like. It's like you remember
or
that like that weed commercial like from when we were younger, like when we were kids. They'd show this weed commercial on tea commercial on TV all the time, where the people are just like falling
and they turn into the
and
couch and they sink into the couch.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest ever.
That used to scare me so much.
Wait, they would don't they disappear into the couch? Wasn't that
Yeah.
it?
And their body would just be like as flat as a paper.
Sarah? Sarah.
She won't answer you. Or she can't.
Why not?
This is the way it's been since she started smoking pot.
Hey, but you know what? That wasn't really. I will give props to them on their interpretation of being couch locked.
You moved to New York. You go to this theater school.
Yes.
And eventually you ended up working at a recording studio, right?
That was way later.
Way
later.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was first going to this theater school, and I felt like I just learned how to be an adult in New York. Like I'm from the Midwest, and I'm really thankful to be from such a beautiful place, where you learn really good like values of being like kind to people. But I also really appreciate being an adult in New York, because I learned how to recognize my own bullshit. And that was hard, and I hated seeing it. You know, one of my favorite things that a teacher once told me, so this is the kind of school I went to, is like, it was all about being as raw as you possibly could and as genuine as you possibly could. My teacher told me, she's like, Lauren, you have a messy room, but all your clothes are clean. All you got to do is fold the clothes. I felt like that really said a lot about who I was at that time and the condition of my apartment, to my shame. So, I don't know, that's just an example. But while I was going to the school, as much as I learned about acting, it was a bridge. It was never a goal.
Okay.
So I was introduced to it in my junior year of high school, so I only was a part of the theater world for like a year and a half.
Okay.
Before I went to New York.
Wow.
So it was never a part of my life. I never knew it was an option. Yeah, and then I go to a school that has all of these resources, and I met an incredible teacher who changed my life and just changed the direction of it. I was going to study business at Western Michigan University, in Kalamazoo.
You really made a pivot and just went into this art place.
And it just instantaneously. Surprisingly, my pivot from music actually happened at that school. That was my first time singing in front of a live audience, and I sang an original song.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And
what was the name of that song?
I don't think I ever gave it a name.
Oh,
I guess
really?
I would call it Never Remember, actually.
Well, I want to hear it one day.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to play.
Cool.
I'll play it for you tonight if you like.
Okay, cool.
It was great. I had a standing ovation.
Wow.
It was a very personal song for me. Songwriting is incredibly personal for me. It takes me a long time to really create something, but I always try to make sure that if I'm going to say anything at all, I'm going to try to say something significant.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why break silence? I actually first started playing guitar for a belly dancer and a fire dancer out in New York. It was while I was doing that work with my old roommate from I lived in a commune with 40 people.
Whoa.
And one of them was this like poi and like, she did some really great stuff and belly danced at the same time. She was a great belly dancer. So she put on a show, and we became friends, and I was playing these finger-style, like, ambient guitar parts for her.
Okay, cool.
And so then we were part of this underground circus community doing these shows with, like, tightrope walkers and sword swallowers and stuff.
Whoa,
And
in New York?
Yeah.
Was this, like, part of Coney Islands type of thing?
Brooklyn.
Or?
Yeah, it was Brooklyn's
Brooklyn,
underground circus community.
Whoa, okay.
Anyway, so I was doing this stuff. I remember being on the subway And I thought to myself, you know what? I think I want to study music.
Whoa.
And so I started taking classes at the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music.
Oh, okay.
And from there is when, I just decided I was getting more into wanting to learn because I was self-taught for 7 years.
Whoa. And so how old were you when you first started playing guitar?
14.
Wow,
14
okay,
years
cool.
old. On that note, what do we have next?
Yeah, we're gonna check out their vapes. So this is my personal favorite product of theirs, which I've been
Oh my gosh, we're gonna get so ripped.
vaping the tea for like a month now, and I like how smooth these are.
Yes! Emerald Sun, good morning. I'm loving this. And now for the next segment of our show, welcome as I play with this lighter and tell you more about this white cheddar popcorn we have here. So, it's delicious. I like it a lot. I'm feeling really buzzed right now, and I'm loving all this tea.
What do you like about it?
That is making me really giggly, and I'm having a great time. So I suggest for everybody out there, if you feel like having fun with friends, it's a good way to do it. And now, back to our show.
This is how we get like after the show on tour when we're back safe in our hotel room, right?
Yeah.
It's like some of the best nights ever.
It's true.
Because we're all like very strict, like we won't drink or smoke or anything before we play.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to.
No, we're like this is work, like it's fun work obviously, but it's still work and like we take it seriously. So we stay sobs during
until the work is done.
I think the funniest night of the tour, it was when we were in Texas one time, and we were all like super faded. I get back from hanging out with some friends, and I think I'm the only one in the Airbnb. So I was like doing laundry, I'm like making noise, I'm like moving shit around, I might be like singing random crap that nobody should hear. And then I'm under the impression that Kyle, Rob, and Lauren are at this bar that's like a little bit down and they're coming back eventually. Rob and Kyle walk in the Airbnb and I'm like, I don't even say hi to them. I just go, "Where's Lauren?" Because I thought they left you there. And I was like, you cannot leave our girl in Texas alone. In the middle of nowhere.
Don't worry, a girl could take care of herself.
But no, Lauren literally just stumbles down the stairs and was asleep.
The whole time.
Had no idea.
Well, if there's one thing I did a lot of on tour was sleep.
Yes. You were
slept
sleeping in the van
so
a lot.
much.
You were snacking and sleeping.
That's it. It was such a great time. I was snacking, sleeping, and playing music, and then doing it all over again.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Sometimes I had to carry stuff, whatever. This tastes amazing. What
You're
kind is
right,
it?
I love them. That one is the Tropicana. That one's the Tropicana cookies, and it's solventless. So that's also a very special thing. Most vapes aren't like that. It just hits smoother.
Can I try to describe what I think the flavor is? Okay, number one, I should probably not have any more of that. It's definitely tropical.
Do you taste the cookies?
I taste more tropical than cookie. Isn't there special lingo for weed that like lemon means something, cookies mean something? I don't know what the lingo's all about. But the Tropicana part, I'm all in. So like it's like pineapple, almost like coconutty. Yeah,
like
it's
a tropical
nice.
drink on a beach.
Yeah, like a rum punch.
Yeah.
Like,
at what point in all of this moving and blah blah blah, playing music, learning all your passions and all that, at what point in that did you realize you were queer?
Okay, let's see here. I need to rewind it and figure that part out.
Rewind.
It's funny, looking back when you already realize that you're queer, it echoes through so much more than I thought.
I know. You're like, oh, that makes sense
like
now.
the whole thing.
The whole thing. Your whole life?
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
It was while I was in kindergarten, my mom sat me down. Like I used to live in a trailer park until I was 6 in Flint. Or like it was called Davison, Michigan. So I remember sitting down on the deck of the trailer, and my mom said, "Lauren, you need to start spelling your name Lauren, because I was born L-O. And I was like, why? And she said, because L-O is the boy's way of spelling it. And it's funny because ever since I could ever remember, like, I was such a tomboy, you know, like, always playing with, like, Batman and, you know, Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and all that stuff. And I remember feeling really self-conscious going down those aisles. Like, feeling like I had to pretend like I was, like, looking for something for, like, a friend or a brother or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had some kind of gender journey from a young age.
I really did. Yeah. I really, really wanted a bowl cut, and I got one.
You did? What age?
I loved it. Oh, gosh. 6?
How short was it?
All the way.
Really?
All the way. I went all the way. And
I gotta see a picture.
Oh, my gosh. I'd love to show you. Actually, I feel like that was one of the happiest, like, I remember, because I would get misgendered, like, at the at restaurants and stuff, and I wouldn't mind. You know, I actually kind of liked it. I feel like there was a certain kind of power that came with masculinity, and a groundedness and a control and a sense of protection.
Oh, interesting.
That I really resonated with. Yeah.
Even from so young.
So young. That's why I love Batman so much. That's why I love superheroes so much.
Obviously, I know that you spell your name with an L-O. When did you start spelling it like that again, and why?
I did when I went to that theater school, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they asked if I had a stage name, and I thought about it for a long time, and I was like, what would I even have for a pseudonym? And nothing really came, and I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to put L-O back on it, because, you know, it was still that way on my birth certificate, on my IDs, passport, all that stuff. Because I just never had it legally changed.
First time I ever heard the name Lauren's and seen it spelled like that was for Lauren Cameron, who's one of just like the OG trans guys that like paved the way for me and for like my generation. Of course now like paving the way for everyone. It's special to me because of that.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
There are a lot more men spelled L-O than there are ladies.
I mean, my name too is like so androgynous, and
all my favorite
I
people
picked it
are
like
Ryans.
that. Really?
Ryan is a very special name. Actually, if I make it a little, I lost my virginity to a Ryan.
Really?
I did. I lost my virginity when I was 19. So I flew back to Michigan from New York because I knew it was time. I knew I was ready. I was ready.
And you knew that was the guy?
Totally.
Wow.
Like nobody else would have.
Wow. So this was someone that like you were friends with, and you just felt safe with them, or what was the vibe?
I felt like this Ryan was like the perfect representation of what a good person looks like. Yeah, we just became really good friends, and like we had a lot of deep conversations together, and we connected. But then, you know, I think it was like 3 months later, I was in my first sexual interaction with a woman.
Oh wow!
In a threesome with an engaged couple.
Oh my god! Okay.
Because there was a guy who was in my theater school who I had this really like great bond with, another great guy, and I just said, so hey guy, I'm gonna go home and I'm going to lose my virginity to someone who's really important to me, but if it doesn't end up working out, would you want to take my virginity, basically? And he was just like, wow, like, I'm really honored. Like, yeah, I need to go home and, you know, talk to my fiance about that first. And I was like, but, you know, thank you for asking, whatever. And I totally forgot about it. And then it just ended up happening after a party with all of our theater friends. Yeah, it was kind of like, it was, it was not what I was expecting at all. My first, like, real crush, my friend Rachel, who's an amazing singer-songwriter. Yeah, she was my first kiss. Yes, she was.
First ever kiss or first, like, queer kiss?
First queer kiss.
Okay, and how old were you then?
Oh, 20.
Wow.
With somebody who I felt this attraction to. Like, it was just like that first, like, bzzz. You know what I mean? Like,
cute.
the first time, I'm just like, oh. And I'm just like, okay, this is just who I am now. This is just who I am. Like, thank you, New York, for giving me this opportunity.
Man, New York.
Yep. And so I started off on Craigslist. Actually,
Okay.
women seeking women.
Really?
'Cause I didn't know how else to find women.
Because there's no apps really back then.
There's no
no
apps.
queer stuff like
Mm-mm.
that.
No one's walking around with a sign around their neck.
Not
you know,
many
saying what they're
LGBT
into.
places. You couldn't go to a bar yet.
Well, I mean, I went to bars and stuff, but it's not like, even if you were to go to a gay bar at the time, it was pretty much mostly men.
Yeah.
Or, it was just a different scene at the time. Or it's definitely something that I didn't feel as connected to.
Okay. Yeah.
And so women seeking women is telling me, okay, this is somebody who is searching for somebody, and let's go on some dates. Let's go.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
yeah,
That's
it was
super
fun.
cool.
It was, yeah, and I met somebody who was really nice, and it was a lovely time.
You're with a very beautiful person now.
I am.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chase is one of the many ways that keeps you going, keeps you getting through each day, right? Your relationship with her.
It's really lovely to find somebody who makes it easier to do the things that you already do.
Yeah.
That you're already good
just
at.
flow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit of pressure off things.
Yeah. I feel that way about stuff too.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sweetest thing.
So I want to know, what are the ways that you get through each day? What are the things that keep you going? What are the things that keep your heart and your head happy? And I know that you have been going through a lot. You shared with me that you lost your grandma, and so maybe right now is a very sensitive time for you. And I want to know what's keeping you going. What's bringing you some joy right now, even in a time of grief.
In order to tell you what gives me joy, I kind of need to explain my grief. I feel like I'm in a really interesting place with this, with grieving my grandma, because she was such a really lovely person, and she was just soft, and I'm having a hard time describing this right now. I got this. I'm coming back. Dun 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 dun. Please hold. Well, Lauren takes a minute to just be really high real quick.
That's good.
Oh, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know. I feel like I just need to keep myself organized. This came really suddenly. She was amazing. 90, in her 90s. I think she's at least 94.
Wow.
And she conquered death on several occasions. She was in so many car accidents, and she's just a very small woman to begin with. So, she went through a lot. She's really resilient, and she was found on her dining room floor with chocolate in her hand, and she was still eating it. So that's kind of nice to think, oh, okay, I'm just going to be enjoying a day where she was just living on her own this whole time, all the way through 94, being able to just live by yourself.
That's impressive.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And she's just hanging out at home, just had dinner, had a little chocolate, then boop. So, life keeps going even when things are really hard, right? So I just try to keep everything together. I keep my place really tidy. I try to make it so it's not easy for me to be overwhelmed. So if my place is a mess, and it's hard to find things, what are some also potential stressors in there, to think about, something gets lost, or you're running late, you're trying to go out the door and you don't know where your keys are, or whatever. So you're able to just avoid all of those possibilities if your place is just together and tidy. Yeah. So I feel that way also about just showering and brushing my teeth. These are things that you can it's easy to have control of these things.
Yeah.
And it's you can choose to use your energy toward snacking and just sitting on the couch or scrolling. I think what depresses me most is actually scrolling from time to time.
It's the doom scroll, right?
Yeah, it's I'm not, and what I do is I know I'm scrolling while the TV's on. And so these two things are happening, and I'm not really paying attention to either of them. And so it's where is my mind?
So do you do a to-do list?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I check off a lot of boxes.
It feels good to check stuff off, right?
I love it. You know
Yeah.
what? For me, it's like when you check a box, it's just like instant, like affirmation of
Yeah,
like
it is.
what I'm doing, or just like, you know what? I don't feel like I am doing absolutely anything right now. Like I feel like I'm so behind,
Yeah.
or there are so many things I still need to do. Like that space of like being sad and anxious a bit at the same time, or just like needing, just kind of in a whirlwind. I'm still feeling that right now. Curse you emotions. But isn't that life? I'm really loving how you and I can have these kinds of conversations and this stuff is happening. You know, they
Yeah.
can both exist.
Yeah.
I can have a great time and
Yeah.
be stressed. You know, like they can both be true.
Very.
You
I
know,
mean,
they can both exist.
it's interesting because like a lot of life is like it gets put into a box, right? And it's like it's such like black and white thinking, and there's no gray area. Personally, I've been going through that a lot with my illness. I'm sick. I'm fighting multiple tick-borne diseases. I'm in constant pain, and most people don't know that. Like just by looking at me, they have no idea that I'm going through it, right?
You hold it like I can't even imagine.
There's part of me that's like, am I still like allowed to have fun and post that on the internet? Like, or people think I'm lying about being sick? Like, does the gray area exist? Because most people like, it's so black and white, you know, and like, there's a lot of people that are like, you need to just rest. Like, don't do anything but be sick. And it's like, nah, like these 420 ways that I get through my day, like they are important, and they're still even more important now than like that I've been sick. Like I still need to be playing music. I still need to be like playing with my dog and journaling and smoking tea and like just doing the things that bring me joy, even though like yes, I am sick, but like I'm not just gonna rest and take my meds and just be sick and let it like get in my head and be my only identity. Like I'm gonna still be with my community. I'm gonna still hang out with my friends. I'm still gonna like play shows whenever I can and like do as much as I can, you know, in the situation I'm in, which I think is what is similar to what you're saying right now. Like you're going through this grief and you're saying like, hey, we can still like be here, and I am grieving, but I can still also like have joy and laughter. And you know what? Your grandma would want that. Right?
Success is showing up. Life is about showing up. There's something about being productive that makes me feel like I'm making the most with my time possible. Experiencing death, this is the most close to home and like the most immediate family deaths that I've ever experienced, was just these past 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's really making me think about life very differently. What a difference it makes to like spend your time with people doing things that matter to you. I don't really care about whether or not what I do is beneficial to the world, honestly. Like, if it is, then that's beautiful, but I think that it's most important for me to be in, like, my most genuine self.
Yeah.
So, journaling is really huge for me. I love riding my bike. I've never owned a car.
Yeah.
And so, like, I ride my bike everywhere, and it brings me so much joy.
What's the furthest you've biked?
Oh, okay.
Because I know you do miles and miles, like it's nothing.
I haven't really like measured it in a long time, or like whatever. But the longest one I can remember was when I was between 12 and 14, where I was biking a whole bunch, and I was trying to meet my friend at work. And it was starting to get dark out, and I couldn't read the street sign.
Oh, no.
And so I didn't realize it was where I needed to turn. I just kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And I realized I was going over an overpass, and I just went way too far. And I think at the end of the day, I think I went 72 miles that day.
Whoa. Holy crap. Were
We're
your
going there
legs
and back.
sore?
I think
I
this
would
is when I was still
never
getting
handle
sore,
it.
but yeah, I don't know. Like I love riding my bike.
I have a story about you.
No way.
Yeah, that I've told to a lot of people. People often ask me about the characters of my bandmates. And I have certain stories that I tell for each of you that I think really like summarize your character.
I can't wait.
And the one that I always share about you as a testament to your character. No, it's good. It's all good. So I was going through a horrible time during the shelter in place specifically. I went through the most toxic relationship and then into the worst breakup of my entire life. It was so bad. I mean, it was like it took me 6 months to get my shit back.
Sweetest
It was so horrifying. Every minute felt like just agony. We're in the shelter in place. I'm staying with one of my friends who like just doesn't hug. Like he just didn't hug, right?
That's right.
And I'm like, I haven't like just seen anyone in like I needed a hug so bad. I'm like in the park near my house hugging a palm tree.
I remember that.
And I texted Lauren and I was like, dude, I'm having the worst time. Like I'm hugging a tree. And Lauren biked to me. And it was far. This wasn't like a few blocks of bike riding. This was miles. Like multiple miles. Like probably 5-6 miles. Like during the shelter in place during COVID, like in the middle of the night, I think.
Yeah, it was.
And Lauren came and gave me a hug and just talked to me outside. And like honestly, dude, like that probably saved my life that night. Like I was in a really bad place. And I will always be so grateful for you.
I'm really happy that I was able to be there.
Yeah.
I'm really happy you called.
Yeah.
I'm like very, very, really happy you called. I think about that often, like, when
Yeah.
you do, like, just like whatever it's about. I'm just like, man, like, I'm just so glad you called.
Yeah, me too. And like, that's the thing. Like, friends get us through. Our community gets us through. And like, you have to make that call. You know.
And it's such a small thing. Like, it can make such a difference.
Mhm.
Like, reaching out, I feel like it takes so much to like get there. But the action itself is just so brief,
Yeah.
you know, just to be able
And
to
it's
say,
so
like,
hard
hey.
to just jump over that hurdle though sometimes and ask for that help. But like,
Yeah.
it's important. And the place I'm in right now with my health, like, I need help all of the time, like every day. And it's been so hard for me to like learn to just be like you don't have to be embarrassed. Like, you would also do it for all of these people that you're asking help from. Like, just ask the help and then let them actually give you the help. Because I'll ask and then I'll be like, no, I'm good. Actually, I don't need it. I don't need any help. You know? Like, that is, like, a big thing for me. And then finally I'm just like, no, actually, I do need help. And, like, part of that is, like, actually accepting it, too.
It's also not really inconveniencing people as much as you may think.
Yeah. I think, like, for me, when I help someone else, it helps me as well. Even, you know, just getting to meet with some of the young people after our shows that are saying, like, you know, your music is helping me so much, and, like, it's helping me just to talk to you right now. Like, it's also helping me. Like, it's giving my life such a deep purpose and meaning. Like, I'm, like, forever grateful of it. It balances out, right?
It does.
Even though you don't think it at the time.
Yeah, there's something really wonderful about just being loved, or like being acknowledged, or being that person to, you know, to be there for somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's one of the greatest services that you can offer.
It is, yeah.
It doesn't need to be about anything big either. I think that's something that I really appreciated about New York too.
It's like New York all together, we got this. And even like out here in California, I meet someone else from New York, like especially like New York City or Long Island, and then I'm just like, you're from New York? I don't know one thing about you. I don't even know your name, but I will fight for you, bro. Like, I don't know who you are, what you believe in, or anything, but like, we're both from New York, and we're here for New York.
That's it. We're family now.
Yeah,
We're family
exactly.
now.
We are jamily now. All right, we're going into this one is very addicting because it's a little sugary, so it's fun.
Solventless.
Yep.
All right, let's do a big top.
Yeah, so this is another one of the Emerald Sun brand's Big Top.
Thank you for sharing, Emerald Sun. This was really fun.
I know, I love
Again,
this
the
one.
big bulbous popcorn. Like,
Ah! That one's
jiggly pop.
good. I want to eat more of them.
Who doesn't love sugar buttery goodness?
Thank you all so much for watching, for tuning in. We are so stoked to be part of the Jamily, and we are so stoked. We're bringing new music to you soon as well, so stay tuned for it. And thank you so much, Lauren, for coming on today.
Thank you so much for
It's
having
been
me.
fun.
I had so much fun.
All right, everyone. Peace.